Coming up on the November 6th edition of Sports Extra, a Tar Heel went the distance for the Stars and Stripes in New York.
Down go the Devils! Down go the Devils! The women's soccer team captured a sweet ACC tournament win.
And the University of Field Hockey made it a trophy-filled weekend for Tar Heel athletics. All that and so much more. Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
It was a beautiful weekend in Chapel Hill, and hey, the football team didn't lose on Saturday. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Paul Beam.
And I'm Peyton Walker. Other Tar Heels were very busy, however, but we first have some major Tar Heel news from the Big Apple. On Sunday, New York City held its annual marathon, an event that no American woman had won since 1977. But UNC alum Shalane Flanagan broke the 40-year American drought. She defeated the three-time defending winner Mary Keatoney, finishing with a time of 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 53 seconds. It was an emotional victory for the former Tar Heel as she made history. What a moment.
Getting back to current Heels, on Friday the women's soccer team took on not our rivals NC State in the ACC semifinals. It was a slow start for the Heels. However, freshman star Alessia Russo got the team going in the 55th minute with an absolute bomb into the upper right corner. You'll see it right there. Woo. Both teams got solid chances on goal after that, including this way too close NC State shot. Yikes. The most interesting moment came when State's Tazira King decided she wanted to play a little dirty. Despite the rough play, the game ended at a 1-0 finish, and the Tar Heels advanced to the ACC championship. In the championship match against Duke, the Blue Devils dominated for most of the first half, as the Heels gave up a number of scoring opportunities, but somehow still managed to keep it tied at 0 going into halftime. Just a minute into the second half, a shot by Alessia Russo deflected towards Zoe Rade, and she puts it into the back of the net. It's 1-0 Heels. That goal by Rade would be the only official goal of the match, but check out the disrespect by Sydney Spruill, who puts one into the open goal as time expires. It didn't count, but we can still revel in the glory. A happy bunch of Heels win the program's 22nd ACC championship and first since 2009, 1-0. The win Sunday added yet another item to the women's team's already overstuffed trophy case. And here to tell us more is reporter Natalie Harden, live from Wake Med Soccer Park. Natalie, what do you have for us?
Paul, good news for you and Tar Heel fans everywhere. Carolina will be going in as the #1 seed in this year's College Cup. After finishing with a record of 15-2-2 on the season, the Heels have the possibility of playing not only their first round match home in Cary, but also their second, third, and their quarterfinals match here as well. And if you kept up with the Heels this weekend, you probably noticed some little bumps on the backs of players. That's there for a very important reason. Let's see what Elizabeth Singletary has to say.
The UNC women's soccer program is one of the best in the nation, and it has the technology to match. What is this small device? It's the Catapult Optimi S5, used by the likes of the Dallas Mavericks, Buffalo Bills, Chelsea FC, and more than 900 teams worldwide. At about $1,800 a piece, what makes it worth the price? The power of analytics.
We go over their total distance, and then we look at something called bands, which kind of breaks it down into percentages. So we can see when they're going at 65 to 75% of their total sprint, 75, 85, whatever percentage we want.
The trackers use GPS, accelerometers, gyroscopes, and magnetometers to track movement, which is fancy talk for incredible accuracy, to within 50 centimeters. This is the third players tore their ACLs a few years ago. Head coach Anson Dorrance and others decided they needed to figure out why. That's where these devices came in. Now, 16 players wear the devices, including starters and players coming off of injuries. As for who runs the most during a game,
one of our outside backs, Julia Ashley, she runs the most during any practice in any game.
In the Heels ACC tournament quarterfinal win against Florida State, Ashley ran nearly 7.5 miles during the game and maxed out at 17.2 miles per hour. This data helps Ashley and her teammates get an in-depth look at their performance and make sure they're getting the most out of their training. Thanks to these devices, elite players get information that makes them even more effective on the pitch. In Chapel Hill, I'm Elizabeth Singletary reporting.
The men's lacrosse team uses this exact same tracking device, and the women look to hand them over after the national championship, of course, and not a moment sooner. And Paul, if recent results have any indication, I'd say that this tracking device is having a real positive impact on the team's trajectory. Back to you.
That's reporter Natalie Harden live from Wake Med Soccer Park. Thanks, Natalie.
It's all about the U, field hockey U that is. The field hockey team kicked off its ACC tournament against Wake Forest in Louisville on Thursday. ACC Defensive Player of the Year Ashley Hoffman got the scoring started for the Heels with this one off of the penalty corner in the 5th minute. But just after the half, Wake was able to capitalize on its 3rd penalty corner, tying the score at 1. 10 minutes into the second half, Feline Gunther gave the Heels the lead back. Let's take a closer look as Gunther's shot deflects off the Wake player and into the goal to make the score 2-1. And 10 minutes later, Marissa Creator adds a 3rd goal for UNC, giving the Heels a 3-1 lead. Wake would add another goal, but the Heels hold on 3-2. The next day, Carolina took on top seed Virginia in the semifinals in the 15th minute. Afe Andreessen scores off a deflection after the penalty corner to put the Heels up early. 8 minutes later, Malene Everett got this one in, squeezing it between the keeper's legs. And in the second half, the goals kept coming for UNC with this one from Meredith's shoulder. And 7 minutes later, Catherine Hayden puts the game on ice off the assist from Creator, her 2nd assist of the game. Heels cruise past the Cavs to land a spot in the championship game. It was the Heels' 3rd straight ACC Tournament Championship game appearance, but this year's result was different than the others. In the 19th minute, even with 4 stitches on her cheek and a swollen eye, Malene Everett puts a beautifully placed ball in the back of the net to make the score 1-0. Louisville got off only 4 shots during the entire game. Goalie Amanda Hendry says, "Get that out of here." And Everett's goal proved to be enough as the Heels went on to win it 1-0 for their 20th ACC title. UNC will be facing St. Joseph's to open up its 2017 bid in the NCAA tournament on Saturday. The women's soccer and field hockey teams winning ACC championships adds to a rich history of Carolina athletics. All of UNC's sports programs combined have totaled 267 ACC championships. The next closest, the University of Virginia with 130. Who said we're just a basketball school? The Heels hope to continue this level of success as teams head into the NCAA tournament. After beating top 15 teams Wake Forest, Virginia, and Louisville in the ACC tournament, field hockey earned a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. The Heels will host one region of the bracket, which includes Virginia, Princeton, and St. Joseph's. In the first round, Carolina will face off against St. Joseph's on Saturday. The Final Four weekend is November 17th through the 19th in Louisville, the site of the Heels' ACC tournament triumph. ACC Defensive Player of the Year Ashley Hoffman has been the anchor in the backfield all year for the field hockey team. Keaton Eberly has the story of how she ended up at UNC.
Before Ashley Hoffman even arrived on campus, it seemed like she was already meant to play field hockey as a Tar Heel.
I think I was in middle school when I watched UNC play for a national championship at Maryland, and the Carolina blue was just so pretty and all the girls were so pretty, and I was just like, I want to be that one day.
In addition to watching the Tar Heels since she was a child, Ashley's mother has quite the close connection with UNC head coach Karen Shelton, as they played together on the 1984 U.S. Olympic field hockey team.
Well, I've known Brenda for a long time, and we were teammates on the Olympic team, and we've kept in touch over the years, but really started to reconnect as Ashley came into the picture. To see Ashley come from her mom, that's no big surprise. What great genes.
And those great genes have carried over to Ashley being one of the best players in the country, as she has scored 10 goals on the season and is a member of the current U.S. national team herself.
Being asked up to the national team this past summer, I've grown a lot as a player, especially, and as a person. You're kind of more independent on the national teams, and then on the field, obviously, they train at such a high level.
Although her talent on the field is unquestionably great, it is her compassion off the field that makes her truly exceptional for her coaches and teammates.
She's been a wonderful example of all the things that are good in intercollegiate athletics.
From Chapel Hill, I'm Keaton Eberly reporting.
The Tar Heels hope Ashley continues her incredible play as the NCAA tournament quickly approaches.
Looking to continue the weekend's winning ways, the men's soccer team faced Notre Dame on Sunday in the ACC tournament quarterfinals. The Tar Heels didn't get off to a great start in Cary as Notre Dame got on the board first. A few minutes later, though, Jack Scahan plays a beautiful cross into Jelani Peters. He almost found the equalizer, but almost doesn't count. The Fighting Irish doubled the lead with this diving header in the 78th minute, but UNC refused to quit. The Heels got a goal back with this deadly strike by Allen Wynn into the bottom corner, but there were only 3 minutes left. The deficit proved to be too much as Carolina fell 2-1. When Sports Extra returns, in the Triangle, can basketball be collaborative rather than competitive?
The men's basketball team came together with schools across the state for a good cause.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes, but with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. Picking a college, man. You and us go together like tacos and Tuesday. And I love tacos.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Each one of our journeys keeps us. Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
We'll never get older. Each one Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
The men's basketball team hosted a jamboree on Sunday to raise money for the NC Disaster Relief Fund. The 4 teams taking part were the Heels, ECU, UNCG, and UNCW, reuniting Carolina basketball alumni Wes Miller and C.B. McGrath with Roy Williams and his staff. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper was also in attendance. The Heels were the strongest team among the 4 despite the absence of Joel Berry and sloppy play. They won 2 of their 3 games, their only loss coming at the hands of UNCG when Roy played 7th Woods and 4 freshmen for 9 of the 13-minute game. Cameron Johnson was easily the best Tar Heel on the night, scoring effortlessly in the minutes he played. The season begins November 10th against Northern Iowa.
Speaking of hoops, the women's basketball team held its first exhibition game of the season by welcoming the Wingate Bulldogs into Carmichael Arena. While Wingate kept the contest close early on, the Heels exploded with an 11-0 run in the second quarter that provided a nice cushion. Senior Jamie Cherry was the standout of the night, leading all scorers with 21 points. Former McDonald's All-American and first-year Janelle Bailey was also impressive in her collegiate debut, finishing with 12 points in just 20 minutes of action. The Tar Heels made easy work of the Bulldogs, winning decisively 84-62.
The volleyball team looked to snap its losing streak Friday night against Boston College. Carolina did all that and more as the Heels came prepared with their brooms for a sweep. Carolina won in straight sets with 14 blocks and 39 kills, just like this one from Beth Nordhorn. And sophomore libero Mia Fradenberg returned to the court after being sidelined with a concussion for 12 matches. And she led the Heels with 16 digs and a career-high 9 assists, nearly reaching her first ever double-double. And on Sunday, it was a block party starting Catherine Eastonley that took down the Orange. Hey, number 3, you want some? Nope. Want to try that again? All right, guys, let's try it. Come on, here we see it. And nope. All right, how about a third time? Let's just see if we can get this one. And nope. There we go. All right, Catherine, seriously, just give her one. Come on, just one. Nope. Easterly totaled 8 blocks on the day as the Heels sweep their second team in a row.
In a week when UNC football took a break, former Tar Heels were making plays throughout the NFL. Seattle Seahawks rookie defensive end Naz Jones recovered a fumble by the Redskins, setting up Seattle for a scoring play. Eagles rookie wide receiver Mac Hollins, you'll see, yeah, there's the fumble. He's going to recover it right there. Yeah, right there. Mac Hollins had an aggressive block, then Corey Clement scored a touchdown off of it for the Eagles. And Washington Redskins star linebacker Zach Brown did something he couldn't do in college and sacked former NC State quarterback Russell Wilson. Brown's been a force for the Redskins all season, racking up 86 tackles thus far and 2.5 sacks. All those Heels in the pros have left some big holes in the offense, but new star receiver Bo Corrales is trying his best to fill that void. Luke Buxton has more.
After catching 4 passes for 64 yards, including his first collegiate touchdown against Miami, Bo Corrales was ecstatic.
That was the best feeling I think I've ever had, like playing the game of football, just being able to score a collegiate touchdown. I mean, like that's something I've always dreamed of growing up as a kid, and to just be able to get that milestone, that was just a great feeling.
While Corrales was pleased with the way he played versus the Hurricanes, the freshman wide receiver sees ways in which he can improve.
Really just trying to be able to know the offense the best I can, be able to run the routes the best I can, and be the best teammate I can. I mean, that was kind of my main goal before I got the opportunity to play, was be able to be the best teammate that I could be on the sideline or in the locker room, and so now I'm just trying to keep that up.
Even though Corrales was dominant in high school, he's having to adjust to the faster pace of the college game.
It's a lot different. It's a lot more difficult, obviously. There's a lot more to be expected of you. But if you come at it with the same attitude, I mean, I feel like it's the same mindset still.
Corrales is 6'4", 205 pounds, has quick legs, and a little bit of a cocky swagger. He compares himself with a former NFL standout.
I'd probably say Calvin Johnson, just because he's a little bit of a bigger receiver, but he's still got like a little bit of speed to him and a little swagger to him.
Now that's quite a standard to match. I'm Luke Buxton reporting.
Corrales will get his next chance to ball out this Thursday as the Heels travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Panthers.
Football. It's America's favorite sport. But in recent years, people have become more concerned about the brain damage the game can cause. A UNC neuroscientist has called for some significant play changes to help protect the players from head injury.
Eugene Robinson played pro ball for 16 seasons. He's had his bell rung more than once.
They're running back on the very first play. He kicks me right in the side of the head when I'm making a tackle, and I'm playing the game, and I have no idea that I'm playing the game. And I wake up with 128 on the clock, and I kept saying, hey, what's 128? What's 128? What's 128? And I'm talking to someone, what's 128? And I looked around and said, I'm in a football game.
Robinson's experience isn't unique. A recent study showed that 99% of deceased former NFL players whose families suspected brain damage did indeed have chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a brain disease caused by repetitive hits to the head. Neuroscientist Kevin Guskowitz, who's nationally known for his extensive research on sports-related concussions, says there's a specific play that heightens this risk of head injury.
In 2004, we started putting accelerometers in the helmets of our football players here at Carolina and began to answer a number of questions around concussion, one of which was what are the most dangerous play types in football. And the kickoff was probably the most dangerous play, given that you have 11 players running at 11 players from large closing distances, and we saw a lot of high impact magnitude showing up on the accelerometers on that play.
Grant Cabell is a brain injury research coordinator at UNC. I caught up with him to find out just how these accelerometers work.
We'll put this accelerometer inside the player's helmet so it fits in there nice and snugly, and then this will sit right on top of the player's head while their helmet's on, like during the game. So it will make like contact with their scalp. That allows us then to collect head impact biomechanics data that allows us to run different analyses.
Guskowitz took these accelerometer findings to the NFL, convincing the competition committee to move the kickoff line from the 30 to the 35-yard line, which would increase the likelihood of a touchback, and to reduce the running start from 10 yards to only 5, minimizing the physics of a collision. The changes resulted in a near 50% reduction in concussions on the kickoff. Guskowitz thinks punts need to change too.
Possibly changing it such that there's no return and the punter can be strategic and punt it out of bounds, or wherever they catch it is where they start their possession.
Some have suggested banning kickoffs and punts entirely. UNC's running back Michael Carter isn't a fan of that idea.
I don't like that. I think it's kind of, can I say stupid? Yeah, I think it's kind of stupid because, you know, special teams are a big part of the game.
To Carter's point, special teams are a big part of the game. And after all, players have these, right? Well, not so fast. Even with all the new technology, Guskowitz says a helmet isn't enough to prevent from head injury.
There is no such thing as a concussion-proof helmet. You put that helmet on the head and you hit something, you hit another object or an opposing player, and the brain is still going to slosh around inside the cranial cavity with or without a helmet on. So the equipment's gotten very good. We have to continue to modify behavior and teach kids and players of all age not to use their head as a weapon.
But this kind of teaching wasn't popular during Robinson's time.
That wasn't par for the course of me. I was hitting you right with my head. Boom, line you up, face you up, and I'll hit you right with my face, bam, lift you up, take you down the ground. That was how you did it.
Former NFL player Pete Metzelaars also wasn't aware of the seriousness of concussions when he was in high school, but is making sure the new generation of players is.
Anytime that a player gets a little lightheaded or dinged or whatever, you know, we got to keep them out. We got to go through a protocol. We learn more. As we learn more, we try to put people in better situations and protect the players at this level and all the way up.
Robinson and Metzelaars agree with the changes to the kickoff line, but not with the proposed punt changes. It's a safe bet most Heels wouldn't want to give up plays like this either.
Are you kidding me?
But Robinson does say safety is a primary goal.
I would love for the game, which I grew up loving, to be the #1 sport, but I wanted to be the safest #1 sport.
It's a fascinating topic, how to keep the game safe while keeping it exciting. And when Sports Extra returns, winner, winner, turkey dinner.
The swimming and diving teams had themselves a feast over the weekend.
Fare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
The women's tennis team said rack it up in weekend tournament. The Heels hosted the Kitty Harrison Invitational, and Sunday they didn't come around to play no games. Redshirt junior Marika Ackerman sealed this play with strict technique. She puts this rally away with one last slam of the ball across the net. And then Chloe Outlet Pizar assessed her dominance. Another Heels game point. And then Heels took a sweep on Sunday against Maryland, and all 4 participants in the indoor circuit left their matches with a dub.
On the men's side, the team closed out the fall season in Winston-Salem at the Wake Forest Invitational. Simon Sundergaard Kavir Kumar and Lod Harrison each advanced to the quarterfinals in their respective brackets. Junior Anu Kadali advanced to the final in his bracket, but fell to Indiana's Antonio Simbelin on Sunday. The men's tennis team will now head into winter training.
The swimming and diving teams had Virginia Tech over for a swim on Saturday in the first home meet of the season. The men's team dominated Tech in nearly every event, and freshman Alvin Jiang set the ACC season record at 48.15 in the 100-meter backstroke. Diver Elise Dawson won the women's 3-meter with 6 near-perfect dives, and both men's and women's teams put up big numbers on the springboard. And finally, the women's team took home some crucial events like Brianna Cameron's win in the 500 free, and that set the Heels up for a 178.5 to 221.5 win against the Hokies.
When Sports Extra returns,
one club on campus is handing out L's to its opponents.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
We did a summer show.
We are live.
Coming up on the October 16th edition of Sports Extra, a huge announcement from the NCAA has Carolina fans breathing a big sigh of relief.
The old banners are still hanging, and the basketball team unveiled a new one in the Dean Dome.
And the Cavs came into Keenan and asked, "Hey Tar Heels, need a new daddy?" All that and so much more as Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics.
It took everything I had not to bust out laughing right there.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
One club sport here at UNC has had the upper hand in the competition for nearly 30 years.
But Peyton, many people don't even know how the sport works. Blake Morgan has the story.
Most people have heard of handball, but not many know how it actually works. Turns out it's pretty simple.
If you're familiar with water polo, just do that without water. If you're familiar with soccer, just bring everything above the waist. It is a combination of soccer and rugby and hockey and basketball.
The UNC men's handball team has been around since 1989, and in that span has had plenty of success with the unusual sport.
We've won, I think, 3 national championships as Carolina team handball in general, and 3 years ago we came in 3rd overall at the nationals.
The club currently has 20 players on the roster, and all of them come from different sporting backgrounds. The sport doesn't favor one build over the other, and that allows for nearly anyone to play.
So this team is really, it's an awesomely diverse group. We have a lot of differences in size, playing abilities, and such.
Their diversity stems from a more relaxed club environment, and that could contribute to their success.
The reason we don't do any cuts for our sport is because it takes a long time to learn the game. And so, you don't want to just have someone show up and they don't know how to play and cut them instantly. So it's, everyone is really relaxed about knowing the rules. It's very teaching.
With that teaching, the club has remained in the top 10 in the country every year it's competed. And with tournament season right around the corner, this group plans to keep it that way.
So I look for us to definitely improve on our college national standing and really be, kind of return to our high point as one of the better teams in the country.
And if they can do that, there may be another banner to hang here soon. I'm Blake Morgan reporting.
Well, that was really interesting. I didn't even realize that we're national championships in more than just the dominant sports you would think about. I haven't even heard of handball.
I mean, the moniker University of National Champions goes across all sports.
I know. What aren't we good at, right?
Well, that does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.